It is the biggest game of the season so far, therefore it is the biggest starting 11s that have ever been picked this season. Both Rodgers and Clement have made it clear that they're here to win. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. The starting 11s have been picked. Have Celtic, have Rangers got their strongest players in the starting 11? We're going to analyse it right now. This is a massive choice. There's some controversial people missing, and it'll be interesting to see whether they've been left out due to form, due to injuries, or what the case is. So I think we will start with Celtic first of all, being as they are the home team. It's looking like the familiar 4-3-3 with Joe Hart in there. I don't think is any surprise at all. I think we all expected Joe Hart to be in there. There's no reason why he would be all of a sudden taken out. Although what I would say is that's certainly a weak link that Rangers can look to target. And speaking of weak links, they're having to put Stephen Welsh in the centre-back pairing alongside Liam Scales. And I know Scales has been good this season, but surely that's a centre-back pair that Rangers should be looking to get at here. Welsh and Scales. Now, despite Scales' form, if you told Celtic that they'd gone into an Old Firm game with those two at the back this season, I think the fans would have been fucking pulling their hair out. They'd have been having nightmares. Then you factor in, you got Alistair Johnston at right back and Greg Taylor at left back. Two guys that looked fucking great under Ange, but haven't looked anything like that under Rodgers. I think this entire back five is very vulnerable here, and I think we will see Celtic concede a couple of goals today at least.
Well, that's a bold prediction, a couple of goals. I went with 3-1, so I mean, hopefully that does happen. But with Welsh, I mean, let's not bury Scales. I think Scales has actually been better than Carter Vickers this season.
No, I think he has been, but at the start of the season, before he hit this bit of form, if you said that was the centre-back partnership, Celtic fans would have been like, what the fuck has happened?
True, but yeah, it shows you the lack of confidence in the Rocky and lack of Bielka. You've got $7.5 million there.
Yeah, and it's one of them's on the bench.
This is worth $500k, these two.
Yeah, so that's crazy there. I don't get it. You spend $3-4 million on a player in Scotland. He has to be in the starting 11, especially for a centre-back. That's quite a lot of money. It's more money than what the Old Firm would normally spend. Moving into midfield, they've got McGregor in there. That's a no-brainer. He knew, unless he's injured or unfit, McGregor is going to play. And even if he's unfit, you feel like he's probably still going to get wung in there. He'll be partnered with O'Reilly and Bernardo. Now, there was rumours that Hatate would be fit for this game. He makes the bench. Now, maybe he's not 100% fit, but might get brought on as an impact player, or if Celtic need to change things. I have to assume, though, that he's not 100%. Obviously, he won't be match fit. He still needs to get up to speed, but I've got to feel like he's not 100% ready, because I cannot believe that Hatate would be left out. And we know at the beginning of the season, Rodgers was keeping him out. Rodgers wasn't really a big fan of Hatate, but for me, I would be having Hatate in there every single day of the week over Bernardo. So we have to assume that Hatate's still not quite at the races.
No, he's not. I mean, I predicted this yesterday. Bernardo, though, he started the goal fest, so to speak, against Dundee. I think Bernardo's alright. I think he's underrated. Hasn't really been given a chance. But this is the midfield that we thought Celtic would pick, because O'Reilly and McGregor picked themselves, and he's going to have to start Bernardo over Hatate. Hatate will come on, though.
Then we move into the front three, and Rodgers has went with Maeda, Palma, and Kyogo. So no place for the brace man, Mikey Johnson, who got those 2 goals against Dundee. Yang, Abada, also on the bench, and is not preferred to Kyogo, which I don't think surprises anybody. Is that the front three you were expecting? It's the front three I was expecting. Unless, again, Abada's been out for, I think Abada and Hatate, if they were back for a couple of games, I think they'd both be in the starting 11. But considering this would be both of their first games in months, and I just don't think they're going to risk it, especially not in an Old Firm.
No, this is absolutely going to be the front three, and that's what it is. And Abada, I think Abada will appear like Hatate, and I think the Celtic team's pretty much what everyone thought it would be, because no one thought he was going to start any other centre-backs in those two.
It's a bit concerning, though, that Naroki is not preferred to Scales, considering the money that he cost. So
yeah, I don't even think, I mean, anytime I've seen Naroki or Lagerbielke, I'd say they're better than fucking Welsh.
But no, Rodgers has went with Welsh and Scales.
Maybe it's just Rodgers simply saying, here, I don't give a fuck about what you guys want to sign. These aren't my players.
Yeah, again, it could go back to that. Are these his players?
They mustn't be.
Or are they his players and he's accepted that he's signed a bunch of duds? But speaking of duds, there is no Sam Lammers in the Rangers starting 11, although he is on the bench. And I think that's key for Rangers. I 100% believe that if you start Lammers, you're essentially a shut down.
Yep.
I think that, I'm honestly believing that could be the difference between Rangers winning and losing this game. They went with Butland in net, similar to Joe Hart, just kind of picks himself. A back four of Tavernier, Goldston, Balogun, and Redfan Yilmaz. Now, I wasn't aware that Barisic was injured.
Is he on the bench?
He's not on the bench, so I'm going to assume there's some sort of injury here.
There must be. I thought he was fit.
Now, I thought he was fit as well, but he's not been selected. I'm not... Barisic, sometimes... There's been a few old firm games where he's not really performed, but again, I think Rangers might miss his crosses and set pieces. But I still think the Rangers back five, for me, is a lot stronger than the Celtic back five.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the centre-back partnership, Balogun and Goldson, Butland, Tav, just with the goals he's going to get. I mean, Mikey Johnson last season, you'd have been like, aye, you know what, defensively he's great, but not this season.
I think Redfan Yilmaz is a wild card. I don't know. I think he's looked really good at times, then there's times I think he's not looked good at all. What Redfan Yilmaz will we get? We haven't seen a lot of him, so it's actually hard to sit here and predict how he's going to play. That's why I think that's why he's a wild card. I don't know what to expect from Redfan Yilmaz. I think he could potentially be the reason Rangers lose this game. Or who knows, he could have a great game and be one of the reasons why they win.
He could be, so we'll have to wait and see. But here, at least he's up against three small attackers. It's not like he's taking on mammoths up front.
Moving into the midfield, Rangers pretty depleted in here. They went with Lundstrom, who I think we all knew was going to be in there. Apparently, he's the best on earth.
Well, I mean, he was supposedly injured, so I mean, I wasn't too convinced.
Sterling going in midfield, pretty much because, well, a combination of because Rangers don't have anyone else, and the fact that when he has been given a chance, he's actually been really good. So
he pocketed Isco, so.
You know what? Maybe we'll see Sterling as a regular. I wouldn't be surprised if Rangers get back to a full bill of health and Sterling still finds himself in the starting 11.
Yeah,
because he has been good. And then Cantwell in front of them, which I'm assuming he's been preferred to Dessers. I think Lammers. I think if Lammers was playing, he probably would have been in that Cantwell kind of position. Seems to be where he plays sometimes, but.
I think what I'm seeing here is out of both starting 11s, there's no real shocks. Maybe Yilmaz, but then Barisic is injured, so there's no one that stands out to me that's like, holy fuck, what are they doing in there?
And then we go for the Rangers front three, which will be obviously McCausland and Sima on either side, with Dessers through the middle. And I think with the fact that Rangers don't have Roof on the bench, that kind of tells me that he's not available. Well, obviously he's not available, but it tells me that he's not fit. And we have a Danilo who's still injured, and Sam Lammers is pished, so therefore Dessers kind of by default starts here.
Yeah,
I don't think Dessers is starting because Clement thinks he's great and he thinks he's a match winner and he thinks Dessers is the man that's going to take down Celtic. I think Dessers is starting because it's pretty much the only option that Rangers have here up front.
Yeah, Fabio Silva, he can't play to the first, or else, I mean, I'm willing to bet good money he'd have been in here somewhere, but yeah, McCausland, I wouldn't have started McCausland, but then you look at the bench, it's like, well, who do you start over him?
No, there is Dowell though, Kieran Dowell and Matondo are on the bench, potentially two players.
I would have started Dowell over McCausland.
Cervantes is on the bench, but he's a bit of a dud as well. Him and Lammers haven't really done anything. You got King on the bench and Suter on the bench, but obviously Balogun was preferred to both of them. Scott Wright actually is on the bench, so Scott Wright potentially could have played. But I think McCausland's been alright this season.
He has been, but he was pish against Motherwell, has to be said.
Yeah.
I think you can't start these youngsters like every game, or else you'll just blow them out.
Yeah, especially not in an Old Firm game. I don't know if that's the one for him.
I mean, you talked about Yilmaz costing Rangers goals. This guy could cost us goals. McCausland, because he's in a lot of the against Betis. I mean, he wasn't tracking back, and
Well, I'd rather McCausland start than Lammers.
Well, obviously.
But there's Matondo and Scott Wright. Maybe a bit strange that none of them got the go-ahead.
Well, I'm not surprised about Scott Wright, but maybe Matondo. But here, if you're setting up for the counter, I think Matondo works a wee bit more than McCausland, but I don't think there's any need for Rangers to set up on the counter against Celtic.
No, definitely not. Anyway, right, I'm going to pick a combined 11. Out of these two starting 11s, I'm going to go through who I would go with. Now, they're both playing pretty much the same formation, so that kind of makes it easy to determine. So, for me, this would be my confirmed combined 11,
Is this on form or just what you think?
On form. I'm going to go with Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun, who, I mean, Scales has been good, but I am going to go with Balogun. And I'm going to go with the Rangers back five, because I don't rate Taylor. I think Taylor's been really poor this season, and the only reason he's playing is because the only other option Celtic have is that shite guy for Argentina, whose name completely Bernabe. So yeah, both. I'm going with the Rangers back five. I will then go with McGregor, Lundstrom, and O'Reilly. With up front, I will go with Maida, Seamer, and Kyogo. That would be my combined 11. So yeah, I only got Maida, 4 Celtic players in there, 7-4. Rangers to me, that's my combined 11.
Well, let me give you mine. So I'm gonna go with exactly the same back four. I mean, the Rangers back five essentially, because I just look at Celtic and I think.
So you're going with the same goalkeeper and the same defence as me?
Aye, because I can't make a case. The only weak link for Rangers is Yilmaz, and he's still better than Greg Taylor this season. I think Greg Taylor's cost Celtic quite a lot of goals, but in the midfield, yeah, I mean.
I think it's harsh to call him a weak link. I don't think we really know what we're getting for Yilmaz.
You said he could cost him the game.
But I also said he could be one of the reasons to win the game. I think he's a wild card.
Alright, fair enough. Right, anyway, midfield, I think McGregor's had a really bad season, but I think you've just got to put him in there. So I'm going to go McGregor, Riley, Lundstrom.
So that's what I went with.
Yep. And then the front three, I'm going to go Palmer, Seamer, Dessers. I'm actually going to pick Dessers. No, yo, Kyogo. Dessers on.
I don't give a fuck.
No.
On form, you're not picking Dessers over Kyogo.
I just did because he is. No, see on form, he's better than him.
Oh, piss off.
Kyogo went like.
I don't give a fuck if Kyogo lost both his legs.
Well,
amputate it. He's better than Dessers.
Of course he is. Not on form.
Fuck off.
Yo, Dessers since turning 29 is better than R9.
Alright, well... well, based on that, you must think that the Rangers are going to win, because you've picked... I thought I was pretty bad, but you've picked, 8-4?
Yo.
8-3?
Kyogo scored 1 goal in 9. Dessers has got, 5 goals, 3 assists in 8.
I'd give me Kyogo any day of the week. Right.
This guy's sat real best, dude.
Late predictions. Are you going to make any changes? I'm going 3-2 Rangers.
I went 3-1.
And £100 of my money is on Rangers as well. So.
Well, I'm not going that far, but yeah, I'll go that far in the actual prediction. 3-1. They're going to scud them.
I'm going to go 3-2. It's a tight game.
It's a real Dessers hat trick.
It could go either way, but I think this is. I think this is Rangers' best chance of beating Celtic in a long time.
Yep.
Well, apart from the last time where they didn't beat them, but obviously that doesn't count. I think at Celtic Park, it's not often you see Rangers going in, and I think you could argue they're favourites. Even the bookmakers don't think so, but I think so. Anyway, guys, that's it. We'll be back for, I don't know, unless there's a crazy decision or a world-class goal or maybe even a half-time report. We'll be back probably for the...
It'll be a crazy decision, don't worry about it.
Penalty to... Well, both of these teams are the king of penalties. Both of these teams might actually have more penalties than the rest of the league combined at this point, and that's fucking embarrassing. Anyway, that's it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace.